أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. On this video, I want to announce that from now on, I legally belong to a different religion than Islam, and I don't want to be associated with the religion known as Islam in the West. My religion is Eslaum, Eslaum. So it is legally a different religion. It's spelled differently and it has different laws and rules than Islam. And although I believe in the prophethood of Muhammad, peace be upon him, I want to explain why Islam is different from Islam and why they must not legally be considered to be the same religion at all, but two separate religions. In Islam, circumcision is forbidden for both males and females. In Islam, we don't perform the daily prayers of the Muslims in their mosques. In fact, in Islam, Salah doesn't even mean prayer. It means exorcism. So we perform exorcism 3 or 4 times every day. 3 times is compulsory and the 4th one is voluntary. In Islam, our Qibla or direction for Salah does not face Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Instead, we face the city of Sana'a in Yemen, which is the real Mecca. In Islam, we don't believe in killing apostates unless they try to kill us first. In fact, we believe in freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Whoever wants to believe, let him believe, and whoever wants to disbelieve, let him disbelieve. This is what the Quran says in the surah that mentions Kahf. We also don't consider drawings, paintings, and music to be forbidden in general, depending of course on the intention behind them. Just as it is a sin to say or write bad things, but that doesn't make speaking or writing in itself a sin, so too music and art in and of themselves are allowed, and even bad forms of art and music are simply forbidden to us, but they are not punishable. We don't consider halal meat to mean the Muslim to mean what the Muslims believe. Halal for us means that the animal must be treated well. They must have a good life, and so for example they must not be inside a small cage, and they must be fed good food and must be killed as quickly and as painlessly as possible. Not slowly killed after they are tied up and while people are sitting on them and torturing them to death slowly as the Muslims do, but rather the animal must be standing straight while the sword or machine or guillotine chops off their head with one strike or as quickly as possible. This also applies to other animal products such as milk and eggs. The animals must be treated well, preferably organic and free range, and unvaccinated. In Islam, we are not allowed to inject humans or animals with anything, be it vaccines or any other modern medicine. Pharmaceutical medicine in general is forbidden in our religion, as we consider pharmacy to be sihr or sorcery, which is satanic according to verse 102 of the surah that mentions Baqarah. Hence, we are not allowed to take any injections or nose jabs, as we consider them in our religion to be satanic possession. This is not medical misinformation or medical advice. This is my religious belief and the belief of anyone who agrees with me and follows my religion, which is Islam. I am an apostate from the religion of Shia Islam, and I don't belong to any other form of Islam, which we consider to be a sect of Judaism. Our religion, Islam, has nothing to do with Judaism or Freemasonry, and therefore we reject Islam and all its clergy. In Islam, we don't have sheikhs, maraje taqlid, or ayatollahs as they call them, Sufi masters, or anything equivalent. We also consider blind obedience as a whole to be polytheistic, and anyone who does so doesn't belong to our religion. I myself am not any such figure. I'm simply the legal founder of this religion, and I believe that I have rediscovered this religion which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam about 500 years ago. Yes, our history is about 1000 years shorter than the history of Messianic Islam and their Prophet Muhammad, whom we believe is actually the false Prophet Aswad, not the real Muhammad alayhi salam. In Islam, both male and female homosexuality are forbidden, not just male homosexuality as is the case in many sects of Islam. In Islam, marriage is discouraged, whereas it is encouraged in Islam. In Islam, we are actually encouraged to remain celibate until we find our true soulmate, which is almost impossible today unless you are in power instead of the secret societies. So since every country today is run by the secret societies, celibacy is encouraged, although it is forbidden in Islam. In Islam, we are not allowed to drink homogenized milk, and we also don't eat conventional wheat and cinnamon, since we believe that they are fake. What used to be called wheat is actually called spelt today, and Ceylon cinnamon is the real cinnamon, which can be boiled to make herbal tea. But we avoid the conventional cinnamon and wheat found in most shops and grocery stores, as we don't consider them to even be food. We also avoid toxic cookware such as cooking in aluminium, plastic and Teflon, also known as non-stick pans. Instead, we use cast iron, copper and heat-resistant glass for cooking and boiling. In Islam, we fast during the month of September and the end of August. We don't follow the lunar calendar of Islam or the solar calendar of the Christians or the lunisolar calendar of the Jews. We have our own separate calendar. In Islam, marriage before the age of 9 is forbidden, although it is allowed in Shia, Sufi and Wahhabi Islam. Of course, we also forbid prostitution, which is allowed in Shia Islam. In Islam, it is also forbidden to rape slaves or anyone else. In Islam, the punishment for adultery is 100 lashes instead of stoning to death. Instead, we believe that rapists deserve to be stoned to death. In Islam, we don't recognize kings, presidents, or anyone else as our legitimate ruler. We believe that anyone who doesn't rule by what Allah revealed is a disbeliever. So we reject all Muslim governments in the Middle East and elsewhere. Also, we don't use the term Allah and Quran, which are bad transliterations. In fact, Allah is a curse word in Hebrew. We call our God Allah and our book Quran, and we don't follow any of the translations or interpretations made by Muslims. So essentially we reject their Quran, their English translation of the Quran. In Islam, lying is always forbidden. I used to believe that lying is allowed if your life is in danger, but that is actually an Abbasid belief, and the Abbasids were trying to combine our religion with Shiism, which says lying is 9/10 of the religion. So they said that lying is allowed at certain times. They even allow lying in other circumstances, such as when there is a fight between a wife and a husband. We, however, believe that lying is always forbidden, and we shouldn't trick a wife and husband to get back together using lies. If they have realized that they married the wrong person, it is very wrong to trick them into staying together. If you are married to the right person, you don't need to keep your marriage going using lies. Allah is called Al-Haq, which means the truth. So we worship the truth, and our religion is all about truth. Lying is literally the opposite of Allah. This is one of the reasons why lying is always a sin in Islam. In Islam, we drink water that has been boiled in silver and gold in order to kill the shayateen in our stomach. You can just put a piece of gold and silver, such as a gold coin or a silver necklace, in a glass or copper container or iron container and boil it and drink it. Just make sure that they are cleaned first and that they don't contain any toxic metals that have been mixed with them. So preferably pure gold and pure silver. This is actually how I myself healed recently after drinking this for just 2 days. However, this is forbidden in Islam. We also wear an iron ring, especially during our salah or exorcism. However, this is forbidden in Islam. In Islam, we don't believe that the Quran has been abrogated, whereas according to Islam, the Quran is abrogated by hadith books and also by itself. However, we believe that there are no contradictions in our interpretation of the Quran. And so, because there are no contradictions in the Quran, they do not need to be explained away by abrogation. We believe that it was the previous revelations that were abrogated by the Quran. These are just some of the differences between Islam and Islam. I think this is more than enough proof that we don't belong to the religion of Islam, so we should not be judged for what Islam or Muslims have allegedly done. If you want to arrest or deport or question someone, do it to your own Sufi and Shia puppets. They are Muslims. We are not. And one of the reasons why I'm stating all this is so that those of you who agree with me, those of you who have left Sufi Islam or Shia Islam or Khariji, Wahhabi, Ibazi Islam or any other form of Islam, can from now on state wherever needed that you are not a Muslim and that your religion has nothing to do with Islam. This way, if you, for example, get questioned at the airport for suspicion of belonging to a so-called terrorist organization or get accused of working for a government such as Iran or any other Sufi, Shia, Wahhabi government, you can simply state that you aren't even a Muslim and don't even belong to that religion, so that no police officer or security personnel can bully you unless he is literally a Satanist who doesn't care at all what you say and is simply looking for an excuse to arrest, kill or torture you, in which case you have no choice but to retaliate by any means necessary. But any real police officer who has simply been brainwashed by the media, any genuine person, you can just tell them that you are not even a Muslim, and further you can explain that you don't even pray like them or pray in the direction of Mecca in Saudi Arabia or fast during the same time or even worship the gods and goddesses of these groups such as the moon god or Imam Ali or anything else, so that you can actually explain to them, in case they don't believe you, you can explain to them that no, our religion is completely different, that you aren't even allowed to follow their religious clergy or their political leaders. So at that point, accusing you of belonging to any extremist Islamic organization or any Islamic government would be like accusing a Christian or a Buddhist. In other words, the only people who would accuse and bully you at that point are obviously doing it on purpose. But you can avoid harm from most of the police in this way. And the good thing is that since the media doesn't like to mention me and my videos, this means that they can't even lie and pretend like a new group or government has appeared to follow my beliefs so that they can misrepresent me, unless they change their policy in the distant future and start mentioning me and lying about me. But for now, we're safe. And of course, this also means that you can avoid nose jabs and vaccinations by stating that in your religion, vaccines and jabs are not allowed. And if they say that you're wrong because such and such a sheikh or Muslim council or religious leaders have said that vaccines are halal or even compulsory, you can tell them that it has nothing to do with you, since you don't even follow Islam and don't even believe in sheikhs or so-called ayatollahs. So what Iran or Saudi Arabia or any so-called Islamic organization or Islamic council say about vaccines is totally unrelated to us.
At an event last night, state leaders and Muslim community activists encouraged people not to put off getting vaccinated.
Some Muslims may still be unsure if the COVID-19 vaccine is permitted or halal, and whether you can still have the vaccine whilst fasting during Ramadan. The vaccine currently is licensed in the UK, do not contain any animal products or human cells, and Islamic scholars in the UK and abroad have declared them halal. Muslim leaders in the UK have also been clear that having the vaccine is safe, and many have emphasised it is important to have the vaccine to protect not just yourself but also your friends and family and others in the community. The COVID-19 vaccines are safe to have during Ramadan, and injections of this kind do not invalidate your fast. The British Islamic Medical Association is clear that you should not delay having the COVID-19 vaccine.
In our religion, in the religion of Eslaum, which has been founded and established by me from now, vaccines are not allowed, nor any other injection or nose jab. Just as some religious groups, such as the Rastafarians, are allowed to take illegal drugs because of their religion, we too must be allowed to avoid vaccines, and also we should also be allowed to consume any herb that we believe is healthy, whether the government considers it to be an illegal drug or not. So like the Rastafarians, we should be able to take any herb, and we don't determine if it's healthy or not based on what they say. In our religion, any herb that you personally have concluded is healthy, then you must take it regardless of what the modern medicine so-called experts say. Because in our religion, it is our duty to heal our body using any method which we have freely come to the conclusion personally is healthy. And we're not allowed to blindly follow what other people say about health or religion or politics. And yes, we don't believe in modern medicine. We take herbs, foods, and use various exercises to heal ourselves. But we don't consume any pharmaceutical drugs, because in our religion, pharmacy is the same as what the Quran calls sihr, which means sorcery, and is therefore forbidden. In fact, the very word pharmacy comes from the Greek word pharmakia, which means sorcery or witchcraft. And unlike the Sufis and the Shias, we don't believe that there is any such thing as halal sorcery. All sorcery is forbidden in our religion. So just as there are many religious groups who can legally take illegal drugs, such as those shamans who can legally consume illegal ayahuasca, or the Rastafarians who we too are an exception to the rest of the public when it comes to traveling or going anywhere that requires jabs or injections. We are not allowed to be injected with anything, neither the young nor the old. This is our religious duty, our belief, and therefore our religious right. And anyone who says otherwise is directly trying to take away our freedom of religion.